Good morning, Coolest Coast. It's time for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We're your hosts. This is Kristin Odell. I'm Tina Prigge. So good to see you this morning.
We flipped sides so you could point. Now I don't know which way to point. Look at
Wait, can we touch? Oh, almost. Oh, the control is the hard part. Yesterday, Kristin, I had a big fail. So I was trying to open a bottle of water. So I had it in the hand, right? And I was able to twist the top. And just for that last, where you have to get it off, it triggered the hand and the hand started closing and closing and closing. And so I panicked. And the more I panicked, the more it closed. And the water was just like bubbling out. I was like, oh man, thank God it was only water.
Did you find humor in it in the moment?
I did, thankfully, because Jason was laughing. Otherwise, I was like, what the heck?
I have hand, but I don't have the control yet. I love it.
It's just unpredictable. And the other day I was holding something too. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then it just opened and dropped. But I was like, ah.
So you're not, you haven't moved up to coffee cups yet, is what you're saying?
Not in my left hand. I'm going to just have to stick to pointing.
I love it. You do it really, see,
Hey,
I don't have it. It's very interesting because when I point, I'm pointing to my left, but it looks like it's pointing to the right. How bizarre is that?
oh, yeah, I'm pointing to the right, even though you're visually on my left.
Yeah.
Wait.
Hey friends, doesn't that remind you of what somebody would have done with their Barbie doll back in the day? Like twisting the body parts to get them to like sit in the chair or hold
So, I
the
saw this T-shirt, Kristin, and it really made me wonder, is this a want or a need? It says, some assembly required, and that pretty much describes my life these days.
I love this. Where did you find this?
It was online. It was, I think it's Amputee Life or some channel like that I follow.
I love it. Did you order one yet?
No, not yet. Not yet. It wasn't like, oh, this is available. It was just some lady wearing it. I'm like, oh.
I do feel like knowing your sense of humor that it's a need.
Thank you. My son clearly told me it's a want, but a good want.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. So he agreed with me.
He agreed that it's something I should get, but not that it's a need.
Yes, that would be true. That would be true. Okay, so I don't know that your hand has made a debut officially. Today is the first day
Ta-da.
in person.
It is.
Look at how strong you are to just do that. I feel like in the beginning you were like holding
Oh,
and supporting.
I was in the beginning, like for 9 months, none of these muscles were used because, first of all, the wound had to heal, and then when the wound finally healed, it was just fragilely healed, so you really couldn't put pressure on it. There was no way to put any resistance to build the muscle. So it essentially, like one day I kind of lifted my arm up and it was just like flab. I was like, oh no. So when I got the arm, then I really had to build up the muscles. And yeah, because first of all, I had to like use my second hand to lift it. So now I'm doing a lot better that I can.
Yeah, look at you go, girl. Pump it up. Well
So
done.
thank you. Thank you. Hey, I understand that there's a birthday boy in the house today.
There is a birthday boy. Well, there's a birthday boy at work right now, but yes, my amazing hubby, Doug. It's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Doug. He's only 48. He's so young.
He's a little baby. I mean, I think officially that's over midway, right? Isn't this like the downslide?
I certainly felt it when I hit 50.
Did
Mentally,
you?
I was like, okay, there's more behind me than there is ahead of me is
Yeah,
how I
he
feel.
said, "Ooh, 48 is scary just because it's close to 50."
Yeah. What kind of cake is it?
My mom made her, I'm gonna say famous carrot cake.
That's a homemade cake?
That's a homemade carrot cake, and it has amazing toasted coconut on the top. There's toasted coconut and pineapple and walnuts and like all these amazing things on the inside also. Carrots, obviously, but It is so delicious.
It looks amazing. So is that this morning before work?
No, we celebrated it on Sunday with my brother. It's actually my brother's birthday today. Happy birthday, Casey.
Oh,
His
happy
birthday is the
birthday.
same day as Doug's. So we had everybody here and had dinner and cake on Sunday night because our children, they have three activities in three different places at three different times this evening. So it's very much an adult birthday where we will just be running around.
So let's talk a little bit about kids and how interesting it is to have kids. And we love kids. We love our kids so, so much. But there's nothing like your own kid that can bring the mood down so fast, too, right?
Right.
Oh, and by the way, Amy says I can vouch for how amazing this cake is. We may have eaten one for weeks.
And it freezes well. So on Sunday, we ate maybe about half the cake. My mom actually made two cakes on Sunday. One was what we call the almond white wedding cake. That's what was my brother's pick. And then Doug picked carrot cake. Um, so we had about half of it left and we tucked it in the freezer. And so we'll bring that back out some point and
Nice.
it'll be delicious. But
It's such a
yes,
beautiful cake. It looks like it would be really good.
hopefully my mom is watching and then she can internalize all of the love around the cake.
Oh, I hope so too. I mean, did you notice? I'm just gonna put the picture back up too, because there's even little like carrots right on the top,
I
like
know,
little
right?
candied.
So
Yeah, so beautiful.
and of course cream cheese frosting. So good.
But I'm glad to know that that wasn't your breakfast. Like you didn't send him off to work with a big cake.
No, truth be told, I sent him off to work with like a very Wisconsin meat and cheese and dip charcuterie tray to take into work today.
Nice.
Venison summer sausage, cheese, buffalo chicken dip, onion dip. I'm trying to think what else. There were nuts on there and crackers and yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so to loop back around, viewers, I want to know what are some ways that your children, I don't know, disappoint or frustrate you? Like, for example, when my son comes home from college for the weekends, I'll like go around and be like, dude, why are there crumbs here? I can tell exactly what you ate and where you sat. Like, it's fine if you're going to do that, but just clean up when you're done. Dude, why is there garbage just sitting on the counter? Like, the garbage can is just one more foot away. Like, it is your responsibility, right?
Yes. Yeah, so before we got on the show today, I was telling Tina a little bit. I was venting. Hey mama, good morning. There she is. Um that my very lovely and beautiful high school age daughter reminded me on the way to school. Well, I reminded her that I was not going to be her driver after school and she had to take her softball gear in. And that turned into a catastrophic event because at the time that she was ready, the locker room was no longer open. And she thought the solution to that was that, I am just going to make extra trips during the day today to make sure that her bag gets where it needs to be, which I will do, but with a high level of annoyance.
I remember getting those calls from school too, like, Mom, I forgot this homework. You don't mind just dropping it off, right? In the middle of your busy day, like whatever you were doing. Can you just drop those plans and run back to school?
Right. And the best part is like today, our littles have dentist appointment and different things. So we're actually heading to Sheboygan today. So I'm like, I love that you think that I'm just available all the time, but I'm not. Like this is not this your solution does not work.
It'd be interesting to know, like, what do you think I do all day? Like, while you're at school, what do you think my day is like?
Yes. I think it would be her ideal scenario if I were just available to run things all the time.
Yeah. I
So
remember my son out of Legos built a what my mom does, and it was literally a desk with a computer and a person sitting there, which I'm like, okay, that's pretty, pretty good. But like, what else do I
what
do?
what is actually happening there, right?
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, so the kids, they bring lots of joy without a doubt. But there are times where it's like, what did I do? Or like this morning, Doug and I are at the gym and they're like, everybody's like, hey, Doug, what are you doing for your birthday? And, he's like, taxi driving our kids around to activities tonight. And it's like, that's like the official, it's the season we're in. And we love the season we're in, but it's also like, yeah, I no longer celebrate adult birthdays on the days when they happen because we have other obligations.
So was there a point where all 3 girls were doing similar or same things, where it was like everyone went to the same spot and now they're all doing their own things?
Yes. And, just even a couple of years ago, the littles were littler, so they just weren't involved in as many, there weren't just as many things on the radar. It's just kind of different right now.
Right. Wow.
So,
All right, so viewers, let us know like your pain points with kids like that. If you have some frustrations currently, this is a great place to kind of vent, share, get it off your shoulders. I feel like when we talk about stuff like this, it lightens my heart because then I don't know, putting it out in the ether
we can,
amongst all of us.
yeah, we can commiserate with each other. Like, again, it's not that we don't love our children. We love them very much. And
And
there's just still some things there that sometimes, like,
can I just say commiserate was a great word?
thank you. Do you know that Doug has used meander like 4 times since I used it last week? So, commiserate.
Also a great word. It's like sounds just so peaceful and relaxing, doesn't it, to meander somewhere?
Yes, but not lost.
No, right, right, not lost. Hey, speaking of Doug, I don't think he meanders when he bowls, does he? I love this photo so much. I love how you caught the ball in mid-action and it's red and like the pinpoint of light is just hitting it. This is such a perfect photo.
Thanks. This is the second time in a week that you have complimented my photo skills. So either I'm getting better or I just take a lot of them and I grab the one that's really good, which I feel like is what everybody does. Yeah, this is a great example. Friday night, our little girls were at a birthday party at the bowling alley. Our 15-year-old had, I don't even remember where she was. She had plans somewhere else. And so we're like, okay, we have an hour. And I said, why don't we bowl? Like the girls are down on the other end of the bowling alley for their party, but we were on that end of town because we dropped Grace off. So it's like, okay, how about we just bowl together for an hour? And it was a blast. We had so much fun.
So this was just 2 adults bowling?
Just Doug and I.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, it
And
was
was
so
was
great.
this a strike?
I wish I could remember. Doug probably knows. He won one game and I won one game, so it's
Ooh.
perfect.
So you guys bowl like you play cribbage?
We bowl way worse than we play cribbage.
Oh, no.
If we break 100, we're doing really great.
Hey, going back to the kids, Jason said, "Are we empty nesters yet?" Ah.
Yes,
And Wendy said, "My 19-year-old daughter leaving her wet towels on her bedroom floor." Oh, Wendy, I hear you.
that is a good one. Also, something that happens in this house. I'm like, that is so disgusting. You're just getting the carpet wet and the towel's not drying. And
We've had those conversations, and so I think it was, let's see, this is Wednesday. It was Sunday night. All of a sudden at 3 a.m., I like bolt awake and like I'm like, what is that noise? It was the dryer running, and it was he had something in the dryer that had like snaps or zippers, so it was like that pink, 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 pink. You know what I mean? I was like, dude, it is 3 a.m. Like, you do not live in this house alone. Like, never, ever, ever again do laundry outside of business hours. He's like, oh, okay.
oh, I love it. I think there is just like this brings up a good point of like they're in the center of their own universe and nothing else exists at this point. And I think it's just like maybe it's something that comes with age and like brain development. I don't know.
Amy said, someone had a wise idea to have a third. Picky eating.
That is a good one too. And my third is the worst. Amy, so I feel you. Yes, we make a dinner. Everybody's like, this is amazing. Oh my gosh. We had this a couple weeks ago. And Nora is like, she had to sit in at the table. She's like, I'm not eating that.
So, how do you resolve that? Like when I was little, when I was that age, I had to sit at the table until it was gone. And this was, you have to think of the starving children, you have to have an empty plate, that whole era. And sometimes you just weren't hungry or it didn't appeal to you. And I finally like took to one time I sat there for hours didn't work, right? So then the next time I like shoved it all in my mouth and then ran outside and like spit it in a window well. And then I was found out. And then
I was
one
going to say, I
time
won't tell Diane you did that.
one time I did it and then ran in the bathroom and spit it in the toilet, but like I guess that was suspicious too. So
No, so this happened to fall on a night when Grace had a softball game. So she had had popcorn and a healthy diet of fruit snacks prior to this. So I knew she had enough sustenance in her for the night that she's obviously not starving. And I was just like, go put it in a storage dish and put it in the refrigerator and let's move on. Like Doug was going to eat it for lunch the next day or something. And so she didn't eat. And I just am choosing to be okay with that.
would you have let her like make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something? Or would you
If
have
she
said,
hadn't had something else already, we would probably do that. But on this particular night, I knew she had other stuff and she wouldn't even take a bite. So she was just being a little
oh,
SHIT.
so she didn't even know if she liked it or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is fine.
Moms out there, what do you do? What happens at dinner time? If your kids don't want to eat, what do you do? How do you handle it?
Yeah. Amy, I would love to know how you handle that. Give me some tips, girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, and so then do you prepare meals to accommodate those picky choices?
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes I try to do things like, you know, taco meat or I'm trying to think of another example. Things where they can kind of like plug and play and make it their own. But sometimes it's just like this particular night. Yep.
Amy said, we give them permission to make PB&J and that's it.
Yep. There you go. Okay, we're all on the same page. I love it. So I try to do things where they can kind of plug and play, or like if they eat a couple bites because they really don't like it, they've got fruit and veggies and other things that they can kind of munch on. But some nights, like this particular night, I made this like I think it was called cottage pie. It was like kind of sloppy Joe-ish, but it had vegetables and some other things. And you put it on a baked potato and you top it with cheese.
Mm.
So it was just like this thing. And so everybody else ate it and thought it was incredible. Like there wasn't options. So
Cindy said, most importantly, don't give them a cookie.
I love it.
Right. When that's a really good point. You don't want to seem like you're rewarding them for making the picky or obstinate choices.
Right. Yeah. It was like, oh, I don't have to eat dinner and I can get a cookie. Yes, please. Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Being a parent is tough. I do remember too, like my son loved food, right? Like he typically loved to eat. And I remember one time school called and they said, yeah, he's not feeling good. I'm like, oh, right. Okay. Did he eat lunch? Because then I would know, like, because he would always eat. He's like, no, we offered and he didn't want anything. I'm like, I will be right there. So, like, if he was refusing food, I knew he really didn't feel good.
Yes, I totally get that. Okay, so my mom commented and she said, I would probably make 16 different things for them to choose from.
Aw.
This is grandma mode. That is not how I was raised.
Oh. So when the them is the kids and not you guys.
That's right. That is right.
Aren't
That is,
grandmas the best?
they are the best.
Hey, speaking of grandmas, I understand that you're in the jump scare business.
Not purposely. I should have snapped a selfie. So on Sunday, I'll set the scene. It's Sunday. We're right after church. We just wrapped up church. It's like 10:30 in the morning. We are having man snacks for Doug's birthday, and a couple of things weren't available when I got my grocery delivery. So I said, I'm going to run into the pig really quick and grab the two things that I need. Nora comes in with me, and I see Tina's mom in the self checkout. And I'm like, Nora, there's Miss Diane. Let's go say hi. So she is in full cognito mode. She's got her sunglasses on. She had like a jacket zipped up. Who knows what she was up to? Clearly, maybe something sneaky because I walked up to her and I just kind of gently put my arm around her and I was like, good morning, Miss Diane. And she was like,
Was it that subtle of a scream or was it a bigger scream?
oh, it was, I mean, I don't think it was bigger, but it was loud.
So, okay, I just want to put up a couple of comments really quick before I show you um, her take on the scenario. So, Nicole said Cormac has snacks hidden in his room for uncertain times. Uncertain times. I love that. And Amy said Lisa makes 3 vegetables nowadays. I remember only one.
Yeah, Lisa is her mom. See, so she's accommodating for all those little grandkids, letting them pick. Such BS.
So I got this text from my mom. She said, "So I was at Piggly Wiggly this morning using the self checkout as there was no cashier at the other registers. I was deep in thought trying to scan my butter, wanting to make sure I got the sale price if I only got one. It was 2 for $7 and I only got one." Someone came up behind me and said something. It startled me and I screamed a bit. It was Kristen Odell and her daughter Nora. We laughed about it.
First of all, my first question is why didn't she just buy 2 butters? Like, you can never have enough butter.
It's true. It is so true.
And if it's 3.50 a pound, that's a great deal. You could throw it in the freezer,
Okay, mom, now we need to know why not 2 butters?
right? So that was my first question. But yeah, she like was so startled. And I was like, "Are you okay?" Because I was like, I don't want her to have heart palpitations or something from, being shocked in the morning. So,
I have to say, thank you. Thank you for giving her that jump scare because my mom is the master of when we would show up at her house, she would see us in the driveway, she would hide behind the front door and we'd walk in and she'd just go boom. And it would just, you would scream. It would totally get you. And so I feel like this is payback.
so will this be now? It's now known globally that Diane's got some payback coming. Does this mean we now have a universe of helpers to jump scare your mom everywhere she goes?
I don't know if we want to do it everywhere, but
Oh, we laughed really hard. It was really it was funny. It was good to see her. I was just like, "Oh, I haven't seen her in person in a while." But
what did Nora think? Did she laugh?
she thought it was funny. Yeah. She thought it was I think at first, I don't know if she's met your mom, so at first she was like, "Who are we? Who do you see?" But then after it happened, then yeah, she laughed.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do the kids ever try to jump scare you guys when you get home?
Occasionally, but they do it to each other much more often than they do it to Doug and I.
Why do we think that's funny?
I don't know. It's such a like ingrained kid thing to do. It's not we didn't necessarily like teach them that or, where does that maybe it's just like poking the bear on like all of our deepest fears.
Mhm. And I suppose we're lost in thought, right? You're coming through the door, you're thinking a million other things. You don't think, "Oh, there's gonna be somebody there to scare the bejesus out of me."
Yes. Yes, for sure.
So my takeaway from my mom's account too is that she was deep in math. She was doing some math calculations, right? And that's why.
Well, and math is hard sometimes. So, depending on your math skill level, it could be an issue.
Hey, so this is Coffee with Kristen and Tina, right? You shared this really just sweet little nugget this morning.
Yeah, so actually my aunt Cindy sent this to me this morning and she said, "Good morning. I hope you have a great day. I saw this. I thought of you and Tina, but it says kindness is like coffee. It awakens your spirit and improves your day. Fill your cup with both."
I love that.
How great is that?
I love that sentiment.
So maybe instead of scaring someone today, you should extend the olive branch of kindness today.
I love it. Offer them a cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah, do both. There you go.
You could kind of accomplish both in one. You could sneak up on them with the cup of coffee.
Virtue coffee. Yeah.
Enjoy the jump scare and then be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry I scared you," and then offer them the coffee.
Yes. So, Tina, what's something that you can think of that's an easy show of kindness? Like, what's
Oh,
something you might do for Jason or, Teak or something in your house even? I'm just thinking about how can we encourage our followers today to show kindness?
oh, yeah, and I'm open to suggestions here. An easy show of kindness.
I mean, sometimes for us, I feel like it's like oh, I've got the dryer, like, I'll unload the dryer, just kinda stepping in and picking up the chores.
Yeah.
Um, putting the like, going in and tucking the kids into bed, which you probably don't have to do that anymore. I don't think you're tucking Teak into bed anymore, but, um, it's that's for us, because it's kinda getting the end of the night, we're wore out, and again, not that we don't wanna tuck our kids in, but it's kinda like, "Okay, who's going up tonight?" You know? So
Yeah. Yeah, just anytime you can if you're gonna be doing something for yourself, for example, if you can extend that courtesy to the other people that are around you, like your husband, for example, um, yeah, I guess I don't have a specific example. I get, if I'm making coffee, be like, "Hey, honey, can I bring you a cup of coffee? Can I make you a cup?"
yeah, there we
Who
go.
doesn't love that? Oh, and then that really accomplishes the meme.
That does. That totally does. Who makes the bed at your house?
Um, Jason. It's tough. By the way, Cindy said, "Just the tone we use with each other, it makes a difference."
Oh, that's a good one.
That is.
That's so good. Yeah, I think just those little things that help. Or I noticed this morning I carried some treats out to help Doug get in the car this morning, and he had like a Kohl's return sitting in his back seat. And I'm off with the girls today, and I'm like, why don't you just give me that? We'll get it taken care of during the day. Like you don't have to worry about that later. So I
Yeah.
mean, just again, simple things can make all the difference.
Yeah, that is simple, but what a huge help, right? And takes it off his plate, something you noticed, easy enough to do.
Yeah, quick. Yeah, because it doesn't have to be a lot. Kindness doesn't have to be a lot to make a difference.
Yeah. Oh, give us more ideas. Give us more ideas.
I love it. Tina, what will you guys do for Easter?
So I was just talking to my mom, and my mom and dad are going to come over, and Jason's going to cook, and we'll have a little meal together.
Do you have traditional Easter food?
So I'm not a ham gal, and not really anyone in my family is like a Easter ham kind of person. So Jason's going to make a pork loin roast.
Ooh, that sounds amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
what will you have for sides?
I definitely know he's gonna do mashed potatoes, some kind of veggie. My mom's gonna bring her, like, world famous actually, just in my world isn't famous, but her fruit salad, which I love.
Yeah,
Trying to decide what we might do for dessert.
that sounds awesome.
Ooh, I wonder if I can hire your mom for a cake. What about you guys? How are you
My
gonna celebrate?
mother is not gonna be available. I can tell you that. We are gonna do ham, and then we are doing some traveling, and we're choosing to be inspired by the South. So we're gonna make a biscuit recipe, and we're gonna have biscuits with our ham. We're gonna do something called pineapple casserole, which is a Southern dish.
What is that?
I don't remember right now, but I'll tell you the next time we talk. How about that?
Sure. So is it meant to be, a main or a dessert?
It's a side.
It's a side. Okay.
It's a side. So we're trying to grab a couple of things inspired by the South, and then a couple of things that, like a ham, is very traditional. So we're gonna do a little bit of both. And
So how do you make your ham? Like, what makes it tasty?
so I just come from a long line of just keep it simple. So usually we get a nice boneless pit ham. Like Festival has great pit hams that are boneless. And you just wrap that baby up in tin foil and put some water in a roasting pan, and just low and slow.
And you don't add, like, a pineapple or anything like that to it?
No, nothing sweet. But I do know I've had other family members who, yeah, they like either to do um sometimes apple slices or pineapple rings or pineapple juice. I've seen recipes with like 7 Up, where you do something
Oh,
like that on
oh,
it.
yeah.
Obviously like honey baked ham, if you get a ham from Honey Baked Ham. By the way, we're not sponsored by Honey Baked Ham. Um, those are almost like brown sugar packed, and they have that like yummy kind of glazy,
Yeah.
crumbly, yummy on the outside. So
I'm not exactly sure why, we're going back to picky kids here, right? What it is I don't love about a ham, and I love, like, pork, right? Like, pork belly, bacon, sliced ham, right? Like a ham sandwich, no problem, but for some reason, confronted with just, like, a big slice of ham is not my thing.
This
I mean
makes me
I
think
mean,
of a
even
great
in
line.
May.
This makes
What's
me think of a great line from Napoleon Dynamite, which is eat your ham, Tina. Eat your dinner, Tina. Because I think Tina the horse? I'm pretty sure.
that? And Nicole said my grandma would make red eye gravy for her ham. What is
Mhm.
red eye gravy, Nicole? Tell us. Do you know, Kristen?
We just talked about this not that long ago. I'm trying to remember. It's ham juice, and then I can't remember if it's coffee or Coca-Cola.
Oh,
And Nicole, you gotta help me out here. I can't remember what else is in there. It's
so
basically ham gravy.
does the carbonated soda, like the 7 Up or the cola, help soften it up or something? What does that do?
No, there is a lot of recipes out there for slow roasting meat that have I've seen some for like Dr. Pepper and Coke and different things. So yeah, I'm guessing the there's like citric acid in soda. I'm guessing that there's something about those acids that help like break that meat down a little bit. But
Hmm,
um I think it was coffee.
interesting.
Which would make sense why it's called red eye, because if you're up and who needs a little bit of boost in the morning. There we go. She came through.
Coffee and ham drippings, and sometimes some pineapple slices were added. That's fascinating. I've never heard of that before.
And then I would guess maybe some cornstarch for thickening, just to kind of make it gravy like.
So if I save a little bit of my coffee this morning, I could make gravy with it.
If you choose. If you choose. I don't know how I feel about that. Again, it's in that like sweet part. If your mom were to make a ham, would she make it sweet like that?
I don't know. I don't think my mom prefers a ham either.
Oh, so now we know where you get it from.
I guess I am like her in a lot of ways.
See, we love that because you eat the ham for whatever the meal is. And then, for days after, you have like ham and cheese eggs, ham and beans soup, scalloped potatoes and ham. There's all these like wonderful meals that come after the initial ham meal.
It's weird. I love all of those other meals you just said. I just don't love sitting down to a ham. Hmm, interesting.
That is very interesting.
Take pictures on Easter. I got to figure out how I can like change my mindset on this.
You got it. I
And
will.
and Nicole, if you've got pictures of the red eye gravy, I would love to see that. That'd be fun to share next time.
Ooh, I wonder if she does. That's a good question because that's her grandma's recipe. That's her grandma on the other side of the family. And I wonder if anybody's made it.
Oh,
Maybe,
God.
Nicole, here's your challenge because I know you'll have ham. You have to make red eye gravy on Easter and show us what it looks like.
Aw, and my friend Miho is watching from Japan. Ohayou gozaimasu, Miho. She says, fight though. So, like, keep doing your best.
Aw, I love that.
Well, I guess I said it's probably night there. So, konbanwa, Miho.
Yes, like 9:30 at night, right?
Right, right.
Oh, how sweet
Thanks
for
for
her to.
watching.
Yes, I love that.
Well, as always, Kristen, what a fun conversation.
It's weird to have you. Like, I want to go like on this side, but you're over here.
You've been watching Coffee with Kristen and Tina. This is Kristen Odell. I'm Tina Prigge. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see y'all next time.
Happy Easter.